article. Joining us now, Liz Fraser, who wrote the article, and Katie O'Donovan from the website Mumsnet. Very good morning to you both. So, Liz, you're not sitting there on your high horse saying, all of you tweeting, Facebooking mums, stop it, look after your children, because you're one of them.
Of course not, exactly. Look, I wrote this article because I noticed a change in behaviour, my own behaviour. I just noticed that as my children come home from school now, more and more, I'm saying to them, hang on, just hang on a minute. And what I'm doing is I'm not doing the washing up or the laundry or all the things that I used to do when they were at home now that they've gone to school. What I'm doing is I'm tweeting or I'm blogging or I'm Facebooking. And I was interested in that because I also observed online, as I'm on Twitter a lot during the day, many mums of preschoolers are online a lot during the day. Okay, so I do the same and they're doing the same, but I wanted to know what impact that was having. And in the article I interview a couple of excellent psychologists, and they both said that it is quite different to ignore a child because you're doing this to if you're chatting with other mums, as we all do. That's a very different thing, and children are growing up now not being able to communicate very well. Buggies face forwards, not backwards. Parents don't talk to them anymore. And we are raising a generation of children who find it much easier to do 140 characters, you know, tweet, text, Facebook, rather than talk. And that's very bad for them. And they are developing all kinds of nervous disorders and all kinds of things like that.
Casey, you're from Mumsnet. There is a bit of an irony here, in as much as there's a huge debate online by mums doing this about the subject of whether or not they're doing that too much.
Yeah, and I think, like all articles that get debate going on Mumsnet, they do have a grain of truth to them, and I think that's been reflected in some of the comments that we heard. But I think that, you know, this article could have been written 20 years ago when there was, you know, daytime TV, or 60 years ago when mums were accused of neglecting their children because they were spending too long doing their sewing. So
it's not the same, though. I do disagree with that, mainly because of what the psychologists told me, and they really are saying that there is a difference between ignoring your child because you're doing some sort of housework or something, and ignoring them because you're tweeting. Basically, I'm guilty of that as well. We don't have to. And one of the points in the article I thought was really interesting, and it's about loneliness. I'm writing a new book at the moment, and it's about sort of the mummification that happens to a lot of us as we're at home, you know, being mums. And the more you go online, one of the amazing comments I've heard a lot is people saying, I go online for company. If you just think about what that means, you go online to talk to people, for company. No, but I don't think get out and see
there's
people.
Not an either or, I don't think. I think often when people have babies, they might be doing it at a different time to their friends. They might be doing it in a different place where their friends and family are, and that's where websites like Mumsnet are really important.
Oh, they're hugely important.
Particularly when you've just had a baby, it's a roller coaster. It can be a fantastic roller coaster, but it can have moments where people really do need support. And it could be that it's from friends around the corner, but it could also be from people online. And
I totally agree, but you do have to switch it off.
But I don't think anyone's advocating staying online 24/7. I think it's a great thing to have balance.
You work, as Charlie points out, you know, you could be stood accused of kind of being part of the problem. Do you ever find that you come home from what you do at Mumsnet, but you carry on being online, and you find that just things actually, not just the children don't get looked at or talked to, the things don't get done.
You're not accusing me of not doing housework.
Well, I mean, sometimes people are online because it's more interesting than the alternative.
Absolutely, and I think that particularly periods when I've been on maternity leave, I've really valued the internet and the interaction that you get, because it gives you that stimulation that you don't get all of the time from your children.
As an adult, so someone coming in and saying, you know what you should do? You should have 20 minutes. I mean, we're rubbish at that. We do that to our children, don't we? And if someone says it to you, you're going to object.
Absolutely. And do you know the word that cropped up more than any other word in all of the feedback from this is guilt. And women go, oh, there you go, making us feel guilty. It's not about making you feel guilty. And by the way, if you feel guilty, it's because deep down you know that you are. And I am. You can't make somebody feel guilty. You feel guilty because you know that you are. Look, the world has changed, right? And we all have to change with the world. Broadband, wireless, we all have access.
But I think this is a wider conversation. This isn't then just about mums, it's about, you know, journalists, politicians who all think that Twitter is work, and actually are we confusing activity for something that's
Thank you both very much. When was the last time you tweeted?
20 minutes. No, I haven't done so for a while, but I know you were doing it as well.
I was doing it on the train about an hour ago.
If you have a view on that, you can tweet us at BBC Breakfast. That brings us to the end of the programme, so it's goodbye from us.